Hi all, in this video we will try to talk about Pushyami nakshatra. Pushyami nakshatra ranges from 3 degree 20 minutes of Cancer to 16 degree 40 minutes of Cancer. Pushyami nakshatra consists of 3 stars. So every nakshatra consists of some stars. So nakshatra is something like it's a group of stars. So what are the 3 stars that are present in Pushyami nakshatra? So just to understand the astronomical point of view, we are trying to discuss this. Just for 10 seconds we discuss this. Theta Cancri, Gamma Cancri, Eta Cancri. These 3 are the stars present in the Pushyami nakshatra. And these 3 stars are not so brighter. If you observe the visual magnitude of the most brightest among these 3 stars, that is 4.57 only. So visual magnitude is inversely related to the brightness. More the visual magnitude, then less will be the brightness. So 4.57 visual magnitude is a bit higher. If you see the Ashwini nakshatra, where there are 2 brightest stars, the visual magnitude is only around 2 point something. But here in the Pushyami nakshatra, you can see the 3 stars are having very less brightness. So even the most brightest star in the Pushyami nakshatra is having the visual magnitude of 4.57 only. And it is very much interesting that how our ancient sages were able to identify this particular nakshatra in the sky. Even though there were other stars that were a bit brighter compared to these 3 stars, our ancient sages actually took these 3 stars only into the account in order to explain about Pushyami nakshatra. So this is one of the mysterious things, of course. And if you observe the Pushyami nakshatra, our sages identified this particular nakshatra as udder of a cow. Udder, the spelling is Udder. You can just Google for this. So it is udder of a cow, means from where we take milk from a cow. That particular part of the cow is called as udder of a cow. So this particular udder of a cow represents the nourishment, the nurturing stuff, and also the yielding nature of this particular nakshatra. So the name Pushyami itself translates to nourisher, as nurturer. So that is the meaning of it. And if you take another meaning, it translates to flower also. So it indicates flowering of something. That is the symbolism here. So the flower also conveys the sense of gentleness and nourishment, because flowering of something is also indicating nourishment. And if you observe some of the ancient scriptures, you can see Pushyami nakshatra is also called as Tishya, or also called as Siddhya. Tishya means auspiciousness and Siddhya means prosperous. Whether it is Tishya or Siddhya or Pushya, whatever, finally the common essence of all these 3 words is benevolence, the kindness, the helping nature. So Pushyami's or the Pushya nakshatra main symbol is the milk yielding udder of a cow. So ancient seeds identified this particular nakshatra as a very helpful nakshatra, and it has the ability to nourish, nurture, care and give freely on all planes of existence. So you can understand cows provide their milk to others besides their own calf unselfishly. Cows are also a universal symbol of motherhood and were highly respectable animals, especially in the ancient Vedic society. In India, it is still considered the holiest among all the animals. All the notions of fertility and productivity that are related to the earth on a material plane fall under the domain of this nakshatra only. So, in the ancient culture, even earth was equated to cow. Earth is like cow, means earth is also can give something, it's a giver. Cows are intimately connected with the sign Taurus, because Taurus is nothing but the Vrushabha, the cow related energy is present in Taurus. So this nakshatra is intimately connected with the sign Taurus and its qualities. Even though this nakshatra is not falling in the sign of Taurus, of course, this Pushyami nakshatra is in the sign of Cancer, but this nakshatra has some similar qualities of Taurus. See, moon in Taurus placement in a chart carries energy similar to the energies of this nakshatra. We will see that. Anyways, you can clearly understand the only thing is Pushyami nakshatra is nothing but the nourishment, the helping nature, and it has a lot of motherly nature. The even see, practice of agriculture is the main thing, right? Cows are related to agriculture. Giving is the kind of energy you can always observe in this particular nakshatra. So even if you understand this in the universal perspective, it represents the power of the feminine goddess energy to provide for whatever is required for us. The milk which comes from the cow's udder represents all kinds of varied things like life force, vitality and creativity. One can only give if one can produce, and that's why this nakshatra relates to all kinds of productive forces. So any kind of productive force you can see that in this particular Pushyami nakshatra. So this nakshatra has only one energy, a help giving energy, helping nature, supporting. So if you observe another symbolism for this nakshatra, it is wheel. The wheel is an ancient symbol signifying movement in all its aspects, a movement in any kind of aspect, especially the movement of time. With the movement of time only we can see some progress in whatever we want in our lives. So progress is always achieved in the course of time. So that is also the representation of this one. The progress is the main energy that you can see in Pushyami nakshatra. So the idea of progress or development always involves the passage of time, of course. That is why wheel is the symbolism here. This nakshatra is very aware of the proper utilization of the time principle to achieve its productive, creative and nurturing objectives. So this is also another reason why wheel has become the symbol of this nakshatra. So this nakshatra energy, people know better how to utilize this particular time to nurture whatever they are working. From the modern day point of view, we can see that the use of automobiles have made people's lives much simpler than before. So this particular wheel is also a representation of this. So with the help of Pushyami nakshatra, you can always achieve some progress. That is the meaning of this symbolism. So even this, so many auspicious events generally, we start on the day of Pushyami nakshatra, means when moon is present in the Pushyami nakshatra, we start all our auspicious events, the events that need a lot of progress, lot of strength, we start them on the day of Pushyami nakshatra. So you can see there is no place for brutality or vulgarity or any kind of animalistic behavior in this nakshatra. So another symbol, if you want to see wheel, we observe now, circle is also a symbolism for this particular nakshatra. So this nakshatra also related to any kind of curve, whether it is curve on your body or curve on a place. So curves, curve, C-U-R-V-E, curve, that curve is also representation of this. And even more, you can observe the Pushyami nakshatra energy people are fond of, they like the circular shapes, the curvy shapes also. This is one of the general indications of this particular nakshatra. So flower is another symbolism. As we know, flowering is one of the translations of Pushyami nakshatra. Pushyami represents flowering process of any type. So there are three varieties of any aspect you see, right? One is the seed, another one is the flowering, another one is becoming a fruit. So even human beings, if you observe, we flower at the age of 16. We say that particular thing as sweet 16. And also, if you observe, it's very interesting here to say that 16th year is regarded as the year of maturation or maturation age of Jupiter. Means your Jupiter is generally activated at the age of 16. That's what we say. So Jupiter is very much related to this particular nakshatra, because see, Bruhaspati, actually Bruhaspati is the deity of this particular nakshatra. Whatever qualities you observe in Bruhaspati, the same qualities you can also observe in Jupiter, and that is why Jupiter is also treated as Bruhaspati. But of course, Bruhaspati is different and Jupiter is different. But if you compare the qualities of Jupiter and Bruhaspati, they are very much similar. So that is why Jupiter and Bruhaspati are treated the same, like the kindness, the caringness, the progress, all these stuff. So even Jupiter has lot of benevolence, lot of kindness, lot of support, givingness. It has generosity, compassion. It has something like joyfulness, the optimistic behavior, right? So all these things are also related to Pushyami nakshatra, if you observe. So this nakshatra is like planet Jupiter, you can say, right? So all the good qualities, right? If you see the other nakshatras of Jupiter, something like the Punarvasu nakshatra or Vishakha or Purva Bhadrapada, compared to these nakshatras, Pushyami nakshatra has more qualities of Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is very good actually in the Pushyami nakshatra also. Whenever Jupiter is in Pushyami nakshatra, is very much good. Jupiter, planet Jupiter is equivalent to the nakshatra Pushyami. Just like, there is another thing like planet Moon is very much similar to the nakshatra Mrugashira. Of course, the Mrugashira lord is Mars, that is a different thing, but if you observe the nature, right, Moon and Mrugashira nakshatra have similar qualities. The same way you can understand Pushyami nakshatra and planet Jupiter have similar qualities, right? So we need to understand the ruling deity is always more important than the planetary ruler, right, here for this particular nakshatra, especially because the deity here for this nakshatra is Brihaspati. So Pushyami, if you want to know about Pushyami, there are only positive things, more positive things, but of course some negative things also we'll try to discuss. Pushyami is that place on our journey where we can rest safely and peacefully without anything to fear. It is the most nourishing of all nakshatras and brings us back to that state in our infancy where we are safely, something like safely nested with our, means nested with mother, or safely we were something like sleeping in the lap of our mother or in our mother's arms. How much secure, how much we felt very securely that time, right, when we were in mother's arms. So that is the energy carried by this particular nakshatra. So that is why natives strongly ruled by Pushyami are, they are very maternal, they are kind, helpful, generous, protective and nourishing also. They often end up in comfortable positions in life because they are always helpful and supportive. So obviously you can see them ending up in some comfortable positions in life. So Pushyami is, see, the ancient sages also indicated this as order of a cow, right? So that is where, right, milk is coming. So it is a pure representation of nourishment. So Pushyami is a blissful and soothing nakshatra, and the natives they produce are much of this particular kind. They are the kind of friendship or the kind of aids, means the kind of help you get from this Pushyami nakshatra people. It's just awesome, right? So its planetary ruler is of course Saturn, because Saturn is a kind of reliable, means reliable planet. Means Saturn, even though it makes you to work hard or whatever it will make you to do, but ultimately it is going to give you something, that is for sure. It is going to give you something better only. Whatever it is going to give you, it will try to transform you to a better person by making you working hard and hard. So obviously Saturn is a kind of it's a reliable planet. So Saturn is a reliable planet. In the same way, this particular Pushyami nakshatra is also very reliable in nature. The reliable nature is one of the prominent things here, reliableness or dependable, right? So we always turn to someone when we are in some trouble, right? So that person is Pushyami. So the same reliable and dependable nature you can observe in Saturn. Now, that is why they made Saturn as the lord of this nakshatra, in order to ensure that this kind of progress or help or aid is ensured for you, in order to indicate this particular simple thing. So Pushyami is simply the most loved of all the nakshatras. So it's one of the best nakshatras, you can say. So it loves life and expresses much contentment and sense of well-being, and also it has the advantage of being able to manifest this particular contentment, or whatever you say, the fullness, right, the fullness, the satisfaction, and the kind of expansion energy this particular nakshatra has. It can convert all that on in the material plane to something better, so that so many people can get advantage of that, whatever the Pushyami people do. It can be anything in any field, whether it is industrial field, whether it is military field, or whatever, wherever they try to go. Even they try to set up a simple hotel also, even if they try to set up a simple small scale industry also, even if they are in the human resources development, or they are working as some software professionals, or they are working as astrologers, or in whichever field they are into, this Pushyami nakshatra people, whatever they do, that is going to act as some kind of source of nourishment for the future generations also. That's going to be helpful. So that kind of manifestations they can be able to do, right? So that is going to give a lot of material comfort, lot of prosperity for the future generations also. So that is due to the stable nature of the Saturn. You can also understand whatever Saturn does, even though it is very slow, but it is very disciplined and stable. As it is stable, it is going to be longing forever, so that the future generations will also take advantage of it. So that is another reason why Saturn has become the lord of this particular nakshatra. So Pushyami, if you think in its positive aspect, it is extremely nourishing, and its energies, you wherever they are actually directed, produces great expansion and great growth. So this is true for any area of the life, whether it be in the emotional realm, or in the material field, or in the field of creativity, or in the field of spiritual development, whatever, a material plane or spiritual plane, wherever, right? It's going to be, it's a kind of expansion and growth related energy. So as this nakshatra completely resides in Cancer, a sense of familyness, because fourth house means fourth sign. It's Cancer is a natural fourth sign in the natural zodiac, where Aries is the first sign, right? So it represents the family, home, community, the emotional happiness. So this is all fourth sign representations. The Cancer is that kind of sign. So all these things you can also observe in the Pushyami nakshatra. So if these people are less evolved, if these people are very much evolved, then it's going to be very beneficial for the future generations and for their own people also, right? But if they are less evolved, then these natives will be very generous and protective of their own people, right? And of course they are always ready to help, give a helping hand in the immediate community only, in their own community, right? If they are less evolved, but they are very much helpful to those limited people, to their family members or to their relatives, only to that extent, if they are less evolved, because they think only this is their world. They only provide the nourishment energy to the immediate ones, means their own children and their own relatives only. But if they are successful in seeing the bigger picture of the world, if they are very much evolved souls, then under their influence, the world, they feel the whole world is their family. So the nourishment energy, the expansion and growth energy that they have will carry forward to the whole world, right? Their whatever talents they have, whatever kind of nourishment they give, that is going to be helpful for the whole world. So we need to check other placements, right? The whole horoscope, then we can understand if these particular natives are very much evolved. If they are very much evolved, that is going to be a very good thing. So Pushyami qualities, the love, the emotional wholeness, or the calmness, the soothingness, the generosity, the kindness, the supportiveness, the richness, right? It's going to be given to the whole world if the Pushyami natives are very much evolved. Means if they feel the whole world as their family. So there are some negative effects are also there for this nakshatra, that is for with the less evolved types. And another negative thing is, so they are comfortable in their own work. If they are comfortable in their own work, that they can become very rigid also. They become very narrow minded, very orthodox in their attitude towards anything, or means anyone outside of their community. They may not have much helping hand also, because if they are less evolved, right? So particularly in the matters of religion, it is very much dangerous. Means if they feel their own religion is great, or if they only work for their own religion, and they have this kind of thoughts of having thought that their own religion is the greatest religion, then they only help the people of their own religion. That is the problem here, right? So better if these people are very much evolved, and even the culture that they follow and the social conventions, if they become very rigid in these areas, then it may not be very much helpful for the world. So Pushyami has very few negative qualities anyways, so except the danger of it becoming this kind of protectiveness, the suspiciousness, and a kind of caution, because it's all related to motherly energy also, right? Mother tries to protect his children, her children, and also it's very much suspicious about if some danger is going to come, then how should I act? So this kind of prejudices, this kind of negative thoughts also it may have, because mother generally has this kind of suspicion things, and the more protective nature. So these are some of the negative traits if you really want to quote. Otherwise, uh, this Pushyami nakshatra has a full good energy. So it's always tries to take a balanced and even approach in the things, right? The Pushyami nakshatra people, they are very much like this, balanced and even also. So it has a sense of realism, means we can relate, we can something like we can rely on them, we can depend upon them, and it's one of the uh, very good things when you are in a difficult situation, right? Let's say you are in a difficult situation and you have a Pushyami friend, a helpful friend, then it is obviously, it's going to be a very good thing for you, because it is one of the most helpful, is helpful among all the nakshatras. Helpfulness is its primary concern. That is the primary concern of Pushyami nakshatra people. We'll try to talk about more about, we'll try to talk about this in our next video, right? More on this particular nakshatra. Thanks for watching this video.